Hey there, this is Tim from Love Openly, where we help you to create your dream relationship. So today I wanted to do an update on my last video about post-orgasmic illness syndrome, or POIS, and just talk a bit about the progress that I've made and the things that I've explored. So to start off with, after I made the last video and I'd done a bit of research, somebody posted on the video, made a comment on the YouTube video and said, you know, like, I think you have an issue with prolactin. And I did kind of think that, and I've known for a long time perhaps that like I have an issue with like low dopamine. So a long time ago, I mean, I used to be stuck in bed a lot, like I would kind of be bed bound a lot, and I just kind of thought it was normal. And then I started realizing that maybe I am low dopamine. I actually found that from reading a book about the chemicals around love and how it changes our personalities by anthropologist called Helen Fischer. And that book was basically about how love works in the brain. And according to what kind of chemical makeup you are, it affects your personality. And I read like it had like a personality quiz, and it told you kind of what your chemical level and makeup might be. And I did that test, and I thought, oh, like it seems to be according to that I'm low dopamine. Maybe I can put a link in the description with the test. But yeah, so it made me think, well, maybe I'm low dopamine. So I started thinking, well, maybe this is why I have all these symptoms where like I struggle to get out of bed, and I just like have a lot of fatigue. So I started looking around. This is a long time ago, like maybe 2 years ago. I started looking around for solutions, and what I ended up finding was this well-known substance called Johns Wort, and I looked for one to buy and one to try, and a lot of it was in like tablet form, but I read a bit more and it seemed like taking like tablets didn't have a strong effect. So what I did find was like a tincture, and I can show you actually here. I have it here. So this is what I started. Hopefully that'll zoom in on that, like focus. It's Hypercum St. Johns Wort drops or something. So these are like drops in alcohol, and yeah, I found this, and then when I started using it, the first time I used it, it was a bit scary because it had such a powerful effect on me. I think I had like 15 drops of this, and I put it in a cup of tea. And it had like such a powerful effect on me. Like it was like I became really high from it, and I was a bit scared. I was like, I need to be really careful with this because I'll very quickly get addicted to it. So I very early on decided that even though you're supposed to take it every single day, like maybe twice a day, I decided that I would only take it occasionally when I felt particularly low or fatigued. But you know, taking this stuff, it kind of really changed my life. It was like a night and day effect that I had, whereby I could like actually do stuff in my day from then on. And I was just like really, I was like, is this what normal's like? I was like, Jesus, like, you know, this is amazing. Like I can actually do things now, because like before having this stuff, it would be quite normal for me to spend a couple of days like just not, you know, indoors. I would spend whole days in bed, you know, and that was my normal. But when I started taking this stuff, that's when I can't remember, I'm still getting used to having it the right way around on the camera. Yeah, when I started taking that, it really changed things for me, and it really kind of got me under this idea that maybe if I do take kind of supplements or something additionally, that it might have an effect and it might be good for me. And actually, like for a long time I've been against taking supplements, for the simple reason that when I was about 18 and I was at university, I took a multivitamin every day at university because I thought that would be good for me. And over time, I started to get more and more ill and more sick. And I was like, what is going on? What's wrong with me? And eventually what I narrowed it down to was the multivitamin that I was taking. And when I stopped taking it, I got better. And that really put me off taking any kind of supplement whatsoever. I was like, I don't want to do this. And then I read stuff saying that it can have adverse effects and it can actually increase your risk of cancer if you take it all the time. So I'm a bit wary of supplements in general. But that said, coming back to the comment that this guy left, and I did some research on the POIScenter.com forum, and I thought I would try out a few things. So I spent about $100 and I bought some supplements. So I'll go through what I bought. So I got some zinc. I got that one. I got vitamin E. These are all from a British UK store. I wanted to buy them because I'm in Asia now and I didn't think I'd be able to get them here. So this is B6, and now this one, everyone seems to be going on about this. Niacin, vitamin B3. Everyone seems to think that's the one for POIS. And the last one that I got was 5-HTP, which is supposed to be similar to this. And I thought I would give it a go to see if it was any different. The main reason being for that is I can't buy this anymore. I can't find it anywhere now. I think there was some issue with the fact that it's drops in alcohol and you can't buy it. I've seen it like maybe in Amazon for more than I was paying. But other than that, I've not seen it anywhere. It's not even on the website for the manufacturer. So I'm trying to move to this now. I tried taking all of these supplements as soon as I bought them because I just wanted to see if there would be any effect, even though like I didn't necessarily need to. I was still like in the 200s of going without having an orgasm. And the immediate effect that I felt when I took them all was a kind of like a feeling in my large intestine, and it felt similar to when I was taking the Johns Wort. It is kind of like a feeling of energy, like a strong release of energy in my intestines, and I was like, oh well, that's a good sign. That means it's probably doing something good. It also made me feel a little bit nauseous taking it all. I think maybe taking it all in one go was perhaps not the best. But yeah, so I did all of that, and it gave me this feeling that it was possibly going to protect me against the effects of having a relapse. And in the end, what happened is I was in Bangkok at the time when I went to Bangkok recently, and I was there, and now I'm in Vietnam where I'm staying, recording this again. And when I got to Vietnam, I had a relapse. So I think I got to 211. It was 211 days that I went without an orgasm, and then finally it happened. And it just came out of nowhere. I mean, I don't know. But as soon as it did, I was like, right, well, I've got all these supplements, I'm going to take them, and let's see what happens. And I felt pretty optimistic about it, to be honest. So I took them all, and I felt pretty good on that first day. I was like, yeah, I mean, I could feel that I had a loss of energy, and I want to talk about that in a second, but I felt okay, and I thought I was alright. And then the second day came, which is normally the day when I feel really, really terrible and I can't do anything. But again, I felt okay. So I thought, well, maybe this works. Maybe these supplements are doing the job. Maybe I've found some possible answer here. But then I started, I went out all day and I worked, and I was having a productive day, but then I had a conversation with Lydia over the phone, and that's when I started to realise that it's not quite had the effect that I wanted, because I really struggled to talk to her, and it was all of those things kind of where I could see that I was emotionally not available. Emotionally, I wasn't able to communicate like in the way that I normally can. Like all of those things that happen when, you know, afterwards, the symptoms, they were still there. I mean, they definitely didn't seem as bad. I didn't feel like I couldn't function. I did feel like I could function, but for me, crucially, the thing that's really important to me is to be kind of like present still, and still be able to connect with people, still be emotionally able to converse and communicate. And it was clear to me that that was gone. So I think the third day I started to feel a bit better, the fourth day a bit better. So overall, it was definitely an improvement on the last time I had a relapse. But here's the thing, like the last time I had a relapse was 2/3 of a year ago, 211 days ago. So there's no way to know if it's down to these supplements or if it's down to the fact that I just went a really long time without doing it. And so yeah, so that's what I tried so far. That's the situation that I was. Now actually I then had another relapse after that one, about 8 days after that. And this is the thing, this is what happens with me, like once it starts, once I have that relapse, there's like a change in my energy, and then it becomes very, I get stuck in this place where I have to be super careful. Like if I go a long time without having an orgasm, then it's hard to describe if you haven't had this experience, but your level of personal control and your level of like ability to function just it just goes through the roof. So like my ability to kind of stay focused, and I'm struggling for the words to describe what it's like. My ability to just basically maintain control and be in control and be strong. It's indescribable, the difference between when I don't orgasm and when I do. And what I find is if I have an orgasm, like my level of self-control just kind of disappears, it dissipates, and there's a strong chance that then I can just keep having them, and that creates this horrible feedback loop where I just start to feel terrible all the time. So the last few weeks I've felt pretty rough on the whole, and now like I'm in this place where I'm like, well, I want to get back into I'm having to reset and start again. So I'm kind of like bringing my focus on that now. So yeah, so that's what's happened since the last time. So just to talk about this difference then, about, there's probably people watching this who have never gone a long time without having an orgasm, and trying to describe what that feels like. To be honest, like the difference is so huge, and the reward that you get from being able to maintain yourself like that is, for me at least, it's almost life-changing. Like my ability to do things, like my ability to go about my day, it's like I'm permanently on fire. It's like I just have so much energy that it's just there all of the time, and I'm like having to hold it in almost, and because you're doing that over and over, and you're developing this kind of willpower of maintaining it, and you're creating this willpower, that willpower then spreads out into the rest of your life, and your work improves, just everything improves across the board. Your work, your sleep, your emotional availability, your concentration, your ability to communicate with others, your output increases, your creativity, everything goes up. And I'm sure there's lots of people talking about this in other videos. For me, like the main difference that I feel after having a reset is just a real loss of, I feel like in a way like I've lost myself. Like I think when I went that long you know, there was times when it was difficult. Like there was times when I was just like, oh, I just need to it felt almost in a way at times kind of unsafe to kind of abstain like that. But at the same time, like just the energy, the sheer amount of energy that I had for life just motivated me to keep going. And now that that's gone, you know, I'm not saying that I'm depressed or anything, because it's not like that. It's just that how can I say this? I feel like a mortal, like in a way, like, you know, like if you can develop that willpower, it it really does make you feel amazing, like all of the time. You just permanently feel on a high. So I almost in a way feel like a sense of grasping now, because I want to go back to that. I want to go back to that place. But you know, you can't rush it. It takes time, and I think it'll be another month from here before like I really start to get that back. I think for me, the first month is when it takes about a month to really start to get back into that space, and then you're away from there. And for the first 6 months, you know, it did that sense of energy did keep increasing. After 6 months, it kind of petered off a bit. But then it kind of it went deeper, it went more into like, there's like a subtlety to it. And again, it's really hard to describe, but just my life continued to get better over and over and over in so many ways from it and through doing it. So for me personally, like I think the risk reward around having orgasms, just for me, it's just not worth it. My life is better without them, I would say at this point. And I think like completely abstaining is a bit silly, and I think putting pressure on myself to do that is also a bit silly. But I think just generally being careful around it and trying to be more protective of my sexual energy, I think is the way forward for me. And you know, don't get me wrong, I've been doing it for many years anyway, but now being more conscious of it and talking to other people is really interesting. You know, a lot of there was quite a few people sought me out after my last video, like, and we had brief talks, and I really appreciate you guys doing that. And you obviously went to some efforts to find me, because I didn't make it necessarily that easy. You know, I didn't put my number up there or anything, but somehow you found my number, someone, and someone else found my Facebook and everything. So I am really I'm really open to communicating with more of you about this, because I don't necessarily know if I've solved this problem for myself or not. I would say at the moment probably not, and I still want to look for answers, and I still want to try and develop this and understand this side of myself more. So yeah, so that's it's a pretty long video. That's where I'm at. I hope some of this was useful for you, because I know that, you know, a lot of people on the forums and stuff are talking about these supplements and things like that. For me right now, I would say the jury's out. I can't say whether or not they're useful, but maybe in the next update I can say for sure. So I don't know if you can hear the rain now. I'm going to finish the video. I hope it was okay. If you like these videos, please subscribe and like and write some comments so that I can learn from you. And obviously this is a dating channel, and we do relationship coaching and dating coaching, and me and Lydia do work in that space. So if you're interested in that, then please get in touch. We've got a website, loveopenly.net, and my focus is really to work on all aspects of sexual areas and love life and relationships and dating across the board to help people, because I've been doing it for years myself, and yeah, so I want to start sharing some of that knowledge and growing with people together. So yeah, that's all I've got for this video. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye. Tim out.